Hello there and welcome to my October favourites. So as with all monthly favourites, I am unsurprisingly going to be telling you about the makeup products that I've really been enjoying throughout October. So I'm going to try and show you like some of them in action if at all possible, and yeah, so I'm going to be trying to demo some because I think that then you can like see them in action. You know what I mean? Kind of like a pole dancer, like swinging around the pole. That would be much better than if she were just sat there saying, oh yes, and at this point I swing round and twerk a little bit with my booty in the air. You want to actually see the twirling and the booty in the air. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. But anyway, so today we're going to begin with, oh my gosh, my favourite highlighting palette ever in the world. And this is from BH Cosmetics. I did recently do a first impression on this. Excuse me, phone. So I recently did a first impression on this and I think it was pretty clear how much I got wet over it. I mean, it's just a brilliant eyeshadow palette. Andres has just been messing with it as well, so it's looking a little bit dirty right now, dirtier than it probably should be looking. But as you can see, this features a whole range of highlight shades, so I just thought I will show you this pink bad boy in action. I know that a little bit the blue has worked its way into it, but oh yes, it definitely has. Can you see that? The blue has definitely got in there, but I just wanted to show you, you know, as opposed to just like talk, I thought show and tell. Show and tell is what I'm doing right now. We didn't actually ever do show and tells in our school. I don't know if that's just an American thing, but think of this as like a show and tell. Like I'm showing you and I'm telling you at the same time. Could you imagine anything better? Probably a pole dance. I mean, really, a pole dance. Who doesn't love a good pole dance? I don't know. I used to work in a lap dancing club, so I think I'm a bit obsessed with poles and vaginas, of course. By the way, I wasn't a stripper. Like, I didn't do stripping. I was on the door just arranging for like lesbian lap dances for the patrons. So yeah, that was my job. It was not as exciting as a stripper, and I did get to keep all my clothes on, which I think everyone was thankful for. But anyway, so as you can see, this is a beautiful blinding highlight. These are definitely very intense. They're not for a subtle lit from within glow. No, no, no. So yeah, so I love this palette, and I think if you're a fan of highlights, this palette is a must. It's just so exciting. It excites my vagina every single time I use it. It just does. My vagina's excited right now. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so next we have a Halloween special from Makeup Revolution. This is their Ghost Powder, and it's a stark white matte powder. Packaging is actually a little bit different for this because it kind of flips out. It took me longer than I care to admit to actually work out how it opened. It's really not that difficult, but believe me, I was fiddling about with it for far too long. It also has a little mirror in the back, which I think is really cool, and it's got a sexy little ghost on it, just like, hello, I'm ready for you. Bought this because I just thought, well, it would be really handy to have like a stark white powder, because maybe if I've used a foundation it's a little bit too dark for me, this could maybe like take it down a couple of notches. But what I've actually discovered is that it's actually a really good kind of matte highlighting powder, you know, for like a little bit of like matte contour, so under the eyes, forehead, chin, bub eyes, wherever you desire. It's just brilliant. So I thought I could just show you, like, again in action, because this is a show and tell. I mean, really. So, oh my gosh, Andres was here a minute ago playing with my highlighter, and he had a brush and he was just like bashing it in and bashing it on his face. I don't know if this is the brush he was using, but if it was, I'm going to be looking extremely highlighted. I don't know if, was this the brush? No idea. Okay, so I'm just going to go bang, 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 and watch this. I mean, you can't see anything. I'm acting like you're going to see a huge amount of difference. It's very subtle, but I just kind of apply it under the eyes, on the chinny chin chin, and also just kind of on the forehead, just to kind of lighten up those features a little bit. And another trick that I've learned from Pheromone, who is from RuPaul's Drag Race, By the way, I love watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and the boys really love watching it now. At first, they were like, what's going on? But they really love it now. It's actually a really good show for kids to watch because the outfits are just so extravagant. I think it's a very aesthetically pleasing show to watch. And yeah, I just love it. So Pheromone did a makeup tutorial on, I can't remember what channel it was, but it was on YouTube, and she gave really good tips in there because her drag makeup is a lot more kind of subdued and like not as OTT as some of the other drag queens, you know, like Trixie Mattel. I think that's her name. But anyway, so this is what she taught me. I mean, she didn't teach me personally, but I like to think she did, you know, like this is Anwen's personal tutorial. It wasn't. What she did was, and she did this with a white powder, I think. She maybe didn't, maybe I made that up, but anyway, that's the only option I've got. She did like an exclamation mark on her nose to like contour it, like a circle of whiteness on her nose, and then she does like a line like so, and it just kind of snatches in your nose. You know, if you want your nose to lose 5 pounds, and put a little bit more on the tip. That's what she said. I mean, really, it was his birthday. She said, I'll just put a little bit more on the tip. I mean, really. So my nose is looking a little bit more snatched, but I feel like this is looking a little bit pink, isn't it? I don't know, something's got on the brush that shouldn't have been there. But now I'm going to go in with Strobe, which is the kind of, it's like a pearlescent shade, and I'm going to just go over my exclamation mark. This is going wrong, isn't it? This is not working how I expected it to, but... Okay, so can you see the exclamation mark is on my nose? And now I'm going to just blend it out. And I'm just going to use my finger just to blend. I put way too much on. See, there is no such thing as subtle with the Blacklight highlighting palette. It's just full on. There's just no... Look, I mean, what? I wanted this to be subtle, but anyway... Can you kind of see how my nose looks a little bit snatched? I don't know, maybe not. It looks very highlighted, like I feel like I'm blinded. I'm blinding myself. If you've got fair skin and you want like a matte kind of brightening powder, I would definitely go for the Ghost powder. I don't know how much longer they're going to be selling it for because it was a Halloween special, but it was like £3 and it's bombastically fabulous. Okay, so next we have my favourite autumnal lipstick. This is Spirit by MAC. I love this. I mean, I love faux and I love blankety, but I would definitely say that Spirit is my favourite kind of autumnal winter kind of lipstick. It's a very kind of warm brown shade. It's almost looking a little bit kind of red, but not. It's going towards red, but it stops at the last minute, does a 3-point turn, goes back into brown town, and that's kind of the theme of the lipstick. It looks like, I just can't describe it, but I mean, that's it. You can see it there. I just think it's perfect. If you're a fan of brown lipsticks, definitely look into Spirit by MAC. This is also a satin finish, and I find that out of all my MAC lipsticks, it seems to last a lot longer than all of my other ones. And yeah, I just love it, and I will always repurchase it when I run out because I've smeared too much of it all over my vagina. I mean, really, not really, but I love it. So next, I've got 3 eyeshadow palettes. I mean, really. So I'm just going to kind of, you know, race through these. The first one is by Juvia's Place. This is the Magic palette. This is beautiful. The fabulous Maria got this for me. By the way, Maria also got me the Blacklight palette. She also got me the next BH Cosmetics eyeshadow palette that I'm about to show you. She is an exceptional lady, and I just feel so thankful that she's so generous to buy me all of these things. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much to Maria. This palette is my favourite of all of the Juvia's Place. Look how it changes the colour of my face. I mean, it does this every single time. There's something about a Juvia's Place palette that just changes the whole colours of my face. I've got pretty much all of the eyeshadow palettes by Juvia's Place. Palace? Have I been saying palace or have I been saying palettes? Very confusing. But this one is definitely my favourite. I do have a first impression and review video that I've made. I've not edited it yet, so at some point I'll get that up. Huge fan of the shimmery eyeshadows. I don't think, like in my opinion, that anybody makes shimmery eyeshadows quite like Javia's Place make them. They're just so intense, so kind of metallic and easy to work with, and I just think the colours that they pick are just so beautiful. I think it's so versatile. You've got mattes in there, you've got shimmers, I mean more shimmers than mattes. If you were locked in a dungeon for 50 days, you could create a multitude of different looks, every single day a different look. You would still have some looks left to be created after all that time. I don't know why you're locked in the dungeon. It's sounds like a bad time, but at least you've got the magic palette to help you get through the days. Okay, so the next product again is by BH Cosmetics, and this is the Solar Flare palette. It's full. Oh, someone just replied to one of my videos and it was hilarious. Anyway, sorry, distracted. But yeah, this is an amazing palette. The shades are sensational. The formula is like super kind of wet looking. You know, sometimes you'll get like a metallic shade and it just looks wet, like my vagina was when I used it for the first time. I mean, really. But yeah, so I have no complaints whatsoever. Even the fact that it's all shimmers and there's no matte shades in there, I don't care. I'm not going to waste time being salty about that because I can just use another palette as a companion palette. You're never going to run out of shimmer options with this bad boy. If you're a fan of shimmery eyeshadows and you like metallicness in your life, I would definitely recommend you go ahead and look in to this palette. I did kind of do a few swatches in it was actually testing out eBay makeup video, but I will go ahead and like do a full swatch video if anyone is interested. I would be more than happy to do that for you. Okay, so my final favourite eyeshadow palette for October is the Jeffree Star Androgyny palette. I know that Jeffree Star is like, you either love him or hate him. I'm just saying that actually I'm going to completely contradict myself. I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't love him and I don't hate him. So actually forget everything I've just said. I don't know, he's a very controversial character and I feel like everyone's got quite strong opinions on him, either whether they be positive or negative. But yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. I enjoy some of his content, but I don't go crazy for him, if that makes sense. And I do think he's a bit of a salty bitch at times, but I love his palette. This is amazing. This is the only palette that I have by him. I didn't get the Beauty Killer one. It's such a good palette for autumn. It's got some really beautiful shades in there. I'm a huge fan of this aubergine kind of, whenever I say aubergine, I think of that big aubergine emoji that's, you know, meant to be some kind of subliminal like logo for a penis. I just can't stop thinking about it. I mean, when I think of aubergine, not all the time. I mean, I'm not always thinking of the aubergine, but anyway, so whatever. That when I think of the word aubergine, that big one that people who are dating text to each other to instigate something. I mean, I don't know what the young people are doing anymore, but anyway, I don't know what I'm even saying anymore. But yeah, so I love this shade for under my eyes. I love the chocolate shade for under my eyes. This shade, which is called Safe Word, is the most perfect contour tone for me. Like, I use it every day for contouring. The orange shade as well, I think it's a superb transition kind of shade. The shimmers are really bombastically fabulous. The only two shades that I don't really go near with a beige pole because they intimidate me a bit are the blue and this kind of teal kind of shade. I'll never be bold enough to actually use these in a look because I just feel like I'm instantly going to destroy any look that I've got going on because they're just a bit scary. They're a bit bold. I just can't with those two, but I love the palette. And if you're a fan of like these kinds of shades, I would definitely recommend it. I think the formula is just brilliant. Okay, so I'm moving on to hair now, and because I have like blonde hair most of the time, but I mean I do dye it on occasion, I need to tone it. My favourite way to tone my hair is with this Jerome Russell Be Blonde Maximum Colour Toner. They do make this in a couple of different shades. They've got a steel one which is like a dark grey. They've got a lilac one which is lilac. And then they've got this silver one. I love the silver one. I find that it just kind of takes away any brassiness in my hair and also makes it look a little bit silver, surprisingly. However, saying that, I did use the lilac one the other day. Did it turn my hair lilac? No siree, it did not. But, I mean, you know, you try some things, they don't work. So I wouldn't recommend the lilac one if you actually want lilac hair. However, it did do a good job of actually toning my hair. But my favourite one is definitely the silver one. If you can get a hold of this, I would definitely recommend it. Leave it on for like the full 30 minutes, juggling with like a lot of yellow brassiness. Nobody wants yellow brassiness. Although I do quite fancy dyeing my hair bright yellow. I fancy that. I feel like I spend my life trying to cancel out yellow tones in my hair. Would it not just be insane to dye it yellow? Okay, and the last product that I'm going to be telling you about today is by L'Oreal. It's a skincare product. This is their Magic Blur Cream. It's actually a day moisturiser. It's super, super thick. This is the best pore filler and face smoother I've ever found, ever. It doesn't work particularly well under foundation because it is quite heavy and quite thick. However, this is a really good product if you are doing like a no makeup day, but you still want to kind of smooth out your skin and maybe like smooth out your pores a little bit. This one does the job perfectly. It just makes your face look kind of airbrushed, and I've not found anything to compare with this. It's usually on offer as well. In the UK it is anyway. But I think its full price is like £10.99, so super affordable. La 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 la, love it. And just to mention as well, because I picked up the Clinique Pep Start, which is very similar, like the claims are very similar to the L'Oreal one, and the texture of it is very similar. So I kind of thought, oh, I'll just be a little bit fancy, get Clinique. I know a lot of people are thinking, when Clinique isn't particularly fancy, but to me it kind of is, because I don't know, it just is. So I thought, oh, I'll just treat myself and spend a little bit more money and see if this one is any better. Bad idea. It wasn't. Okay, so that brings us to the end of my favourites video. I hope that you've enjoyed this. And yeah, I hope that you're just having a fabulous day today, whatever you're doing. And I will be back soon with more. What was that? I always struggle saying goodbye in videos. Like, I really struggle saying goodbye in videos. I'll be going on, and in real life I just can never say goodbye. I'm that weirdo, like, bye, bye. You turn around, still there, bye, bye. You're almost home, I'm just there, bye, bye, bye. Oh, that's me, I mean, really. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna go, bye.